Today we have Danni Warren joining me on the Burko Show. Danni is the Regional Director of Women's Cricket for London and the East region. Danni, hello, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you, Carly. Thanks for inviting me on the show.
Yeah, no, thanks a lot for coming on, and yeah, thanks a lot for chatting to us. How is your role going, and how are you finding it? Obviously, you've been in position for kind of, what is it, 18 months now, all told?
It feels about 18 months. It's probably actually, to be honest, I probably had my 1 year anniversary the last week or so. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
the amount, I'll be honest, the amount it feels like we achieved in the last 12 months, it could be 18 months, it probably could be 2 or 3 years, because we've lived a few different lifetimes in the last year, haven't we? Both cricket wise, but also as a society. So in terms of where we're going, like we're just really excited to get out on the field again this summer. Like rewind to 2020. I started the job in April, our mission being to start a professional structure within the region, and we're all sat at home not able to do anything. So to then take a name, turn it into a brand, create a team, offer contracts to a number of players, and then at the back end of the summer get out to play in the Rachel Hayhoe Flint Trophy last year was absolutely brilliant. And that was kind of our year zero, wasn't it? We then had the winter, which started a few times. We were so fortunate to be able to keep training throughout it. The elite exemption that the players were afforded was absolutely brilliant, because we've been able to continue the momentum we had from last year. And now, as we sit here at the sort of back end of April, just can't wait to get out and play cricket and turn what we've done over the last 6 months into hopefully match winning performances.
Yeah, brilliant. And how important is that? Because obviously it's a huge move for women's cricket that you've obviously been a part of at the Sunrisers. How important is that you're able to offer those players professional contracts, and how has that helped the development for the franchise over the last year or so?
Yeah, I suppose from a personal level for the players, it was absolutely massive, because it gave them an opportunity to really focus on their cricket. And that's something that we've seen over the winter. Without having to juggle studies, full-time jobs, and other things that traditionally the top level players have had to do, we've been able to focus a lot more of their time on the things that will help them develop as players, both in terms of their cricket, but also in terms of their physical conditioning, the nutrition that they use to help themselves prepare, their lifestyle, their mentality. We've been able to put those in place because they haven't got the distractions outside. So from their perspective, it's been absolutely brilliant. And one of the nice things, I suppose, around COVID from our perspective is, because other people have been at home, they've had a bit more flexibility. So outside of the 5 full-time players, we've been able to work with a slightly wider squad over the last 3-4 months, where they've been able to get access to regular training, regular support, and using the medium of Zoom, you don't have to drag people out of the house to have good conversations. So it's been really, really lovely just to see the development of players, to see how they've benefited from the support they've had, from the expertise we now have as a team off the field, both from a physical perspective and a cricket perspective. And hopefully that will really translate into a really good style of cricket, some confident players, and some really exciting matches over the summer.
How have you seen the development kind of whittle down further through down to women's and girls cricket? Have you kind of seen a change and a development since those full-time contracts have been introduced?
Yeah, across the whole pathway since last summer, I said one of the things that's really heartened me the most in my role is the amazing buy-in that we've got from the 8-9 counties within our region. As a London and the East, we cover quite a large area, both geographically, but also in terms of the number of county boards that will be running their own age group pathways and their own senior women's teams. So yeah, starting down south with Middlesex and Essex, all the way up to Northamptonshire, and then across to Norfolk, Suffolk. In between, we've got Hertfordshire, Cambridgeshire, Hunts and Beds, who work together as Cricket East. So to have their buy-in, to have the amazing appetite that they have to soak up any information and any support that we have, it has been amazing to see. And we've been able to work with them in a very flexible way over the winter, as we've had to stop and start a few times to observe players for our academy. We're pretty much in a position now to we started working. We played a couple of games with our academy. We'll shortly announce the players that are on that cohort, and it's really exciting to see the talent that's coming through the system that we can tap into. As a region, we probably haven't had as much sort of support in the past for those players. Now we can do that.
Just for kind of anyone who's watching who maybe doesn't know, in terms of that pathway that you've mentioned that has kind of been developed, like you say, since your role's been going, really. How does that work, and can you kind of explain that to us from a point of how kind of a young girl goes from playing cricket in Norfolk and then progresses upwards to Sunrise's level?
Yeah, well, Carly, it's a massive collaborative effort, really. It all starts with the coaches and the pathway leads within their home county. They work with them, they see the talent that they have, and they'll put a nomination forward to us. Over the winter, it started in September, October. We took those nominations in. We started the process of selecting both for our academy, but also for an emerging player programme. We were hamstrung a bit by the changes of regulations. Saw some players before Christmas. From Christmas through to the beginning of April, no one was able to access recreational cricket. So we didn't get to see many players then, but we kept working with them over the video mediums. We did a lot of workshops. We did a lot of sort of getting to know the players, and those we've selected 14 now for our academy, with a couple of places that we will keep open for those who may perform in county cricket over the coming weeks. And then if you look below that, we've got an emerging player programme that will run some skill sets over the summer before looking again to select for next winter. So it's there's a lot going on. From a senior side, we're relatively stable at the moment, but we've also got some players we want to look at around the region and further afield to boost the skill set that we have within the squad. And yeah, it's just been really nice to see the depth of talent that's out there, the depth of the skills, the real enthusiasm that everyone has for the game, and it won't be long before we see that translated, hopefully at a Sunrisers level. Do you feel like, as someone who works within women's cricket, that there has been a spark in interest and an improvement in standards? Yeah, I've worked in cricket and women's cricket in some way for probably coming on to 20 years now, having been involved as a player and a coach and in the administration and management. I think the game is growing every year. The more we can create role models, the more we can show young girls and inspire young players or older players, if they haven't played before, if they want to come back to the game, the product on the field, the more we can get the girls that we have in the squad, someone like Jo Gardner, who came through the Northants system, to really get girls to understand that this is the end of the rainbow, the chance that they want to jump for, then there's only going to be an increase in standards because people can see what they actually can achieve that way. So we're really keen over the summer that as soon as we're able to, we're obviously slightly in the dark as to when we can get crowds in, but the real hope is that we'll be able to get some really good supporters numbers into grounds over the summer. Let them see the girls play, let them see how great their skills are, and within that crowd, no doubt there will be a couple of young girls who will be dreaming that they'll be able to go on and do that in the future, and we'll know their names in 10-15 years time. How important is it for you for girls to keep going out to clubs and training and playing with them, and with the hope and enthusiasm, like you say, to work their way up? Oh, it's massively important. Like there's no player out there that's got to the top without starting at their local club. There's stories of their first experience of cricket being down there with family members, watching family members play on the side of the boundary. That's a story that runs through everyone who goes on and achieves their dream and reaches it to the top. So I think that we are so invested in that club system in the region. We want to support it. We want to make sure that the counties within it have all the resources that they can to inspire players and to encourage players to go back and play as often as possible. We'll support our players to go back and play as often as they can around their schedule. And the more you play, the better you get. You learn so much in a sports hall, but you learn a hell of a lot more when you walk out on the field. And unfortunately, you make some mistakes, but that's how we all develop our understanding, our decision making, our confidence and our belief. And the more that players can play from a young age all the way through to a slightly more experienced level, within those club environments, you get the cricketing experience, but you also get that social experience, and you really understand how great this game is, that it creates friendships and partnerships that you'll probably spend the rest of your life enjoying.
Yeah, and I think that's really important to touch on, isn't it? Because if there are any, like young girls out there wanting to get involved, this is a massive selling point. What do you see kind of in the future for Sunrisers, but for women's cricket as a whole as well? What's next?
Well, I know certainly within our region we've got some huge ambitions to take the game to whatever level we're able to take it to. As I touched on earlier, we want to get crowds into the grounds this summer. We want to be able to sell as many tickets as we can, and our ultimate dream is to sell grounds out, to be somewhere like Northampton on the bank holiday weekend in August with a full house of local cricket fans, male, female, young and old, supporting the girls. And that's going to drive the development of the game. That will help us prove that there's a product there for us to grow. The more contracts we can get, the greater the product will be at the end, and obviously the greater the opportunity for those girls to achieve their dreams. So yeah, if you like, we're ambitious. We've got a lot of plans to take it forward, but this summer's a real opportunity for us. There will be an opening up, and people are desperate to go and watch live sport, and we'd like to jump on the back of that and show people what we have on offer. But that said as well, the 100's coming, which is going to get quite a lot of bandwidth over the summer. We've got 4 of our girls signed up to teams around the country, and hopefully a few more will pick up contracts in the coming months. And it's just a chance for the game to be seen a bit more, and opportunities like this to speak to you and to your fans and members will hopefully help other people realise that Sunrisers are a team that want to represent this region but also represent women's cricket.
As you said earlier, you've worked in cricket and women's cricket for a long time. What would your advice be to anyone, any girls wanting to get involved, or like you say, any older women who are wanting to start up or rejoin the sport? What would your kind of advice be to them?
Yeah, I think there's a reason that anyone who gets involved in cricket stays in cricket, and the more you think about it, you realise it's mainly because the people involved are absolutely brilliant, and you make some amazing friends. You get the opportunity to really get to know people who in some ways are like-minded, but in some ways open your eyes and are a very diverse group of people to spend your time with. So I think the biggest piece of advice that I've kind of ever really been given, and I'd like to pass on, is that the more you invest, the more you get back. Whether you're a young player coming through and you want to be at your club, maybe helping with some of the All-Stars or the Dynamos as you get a bit older, or whether you're someone who's never played cricket but wants to get involved behind the scenes, take up officiating, or just quite simply be an advocate for the game. The more you personally put in, the more you will always find yourself rewarded by it, because this sport does give everyone great opportunities.
Thanks a lot for coming on. I really appreciate it, and good luck to you and the Sunrisers for the up and coming season.
Thank you, Kai. Well, hopefully we'll see you at a couple of games.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully, looking forward to getting to Hampton. Thank you.